월터의 죽음까지 본 다음에 지금 에디스 핀치가 월터의
Now
발자취를
that there's
찾아온
only one of
것까지.
us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
저주를 실현시켰다. 이건 또 무슨 의미입니까? 월터. 자, 일단 가봅니다. 이제 철길은 끊겨 있네요. 그러면 난 어디로 가야 되지? 이쪽인가?
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
이걸 지금 쓰는 모양이죠? 와, 경치 봐. 아름답다.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
태양열로 밝혀지는 불.
But I thought you should know about your family.
네가 알아야 된다고 생각했다? 누군가에게 알려주는 것 같다. 그죠?
And the history you're a part of.
너도 포함된 그 역사를. 너. 여기서 너는 누굴까? 와, 조약돌 봐.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
나 이거 중간에 못 끊겠어.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
그거라면 가족의 가문의 저주를 얘기하는 걸까요? 핀치가의 저주?
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
집을 너무 예쁘게 잘 지어놨어. 어디로 가야 되는
I
걸까요?
think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
집을 짓기도 전에 묘지를 먼저 완공해. 어디 가볼까요? 묘지로 가는 것 같은데.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
저빌이라는 게 뭘까요? 강아지인가? 루시, 데이지, 찰리, 코코, 조.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
스벤이 할아버지고 에디가 할머니죠. 바바라 핀치, 월터 핀치, 에디 핀치, 스벤 핀치, 켈빈 핀치, 몰리 핀치. 와, 다 죽음과 연관된 물건이라기보다는 조각품들이 묘지 위에, 묘비 위에 올려져 있네요. 와, 이 게임 정말.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My
Edie?
mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
아, 저 집이 중간에 한번 초반에 나왔던 배로 싣고 올려던 그 집인가 보죠. 침몰한.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
그레고리 핀치, 샘 핀치, 그리고 고스 핀치. 다들 10년 터울을 두고 1950년, 69년, 76년, 10년은 아니구나. 어찌됐건 핀치가의 모든 사람들이 다 죽었네요. 밀턴 핀치, 산제이 쿤.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
루이스 핀치. 엄마의 형제인가 보죠? 그러면 에디스 핀치의 엄마가 누군지 모르겠다.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
엄마가 누군데 도대체. 엄마가 누구야, 엄마가.
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
에디스 핀치는 현재 임신 22주네요. 약 한 5개월 반? 5개월 반. 어디로 가야 되지?
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
에디스 핀치 엄마의 이름을 알고 싶네요. 여기서 모닥불도 피운 모양이네. 담배도 피우고.
They were both pretty intense.
사냥을
Sam
좋아했던
spent his
모양이다.
life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
사냥을 좋아했네요. 샘 핀치. 그리고 군대 전쟁에 참전한 것 같죠? 참전 용사인 것 같습니다. 자, 샘 핀치의 얘기가 펼쳐질 것 같습니다. 뭐야, 왜 안 봐? 보자. 샘 핀치. 셀카.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just want to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can take off.
I'm over here, Dad.
Just need to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can hit the road. Wait.
어떻게 하는 거지? 아, 확대하는 거구나, 이렇게.
Perfect.
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Smile, Dawn. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though. Aw.
와, 진짜 너무 잘 만들었다, 이 게임.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
To tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad,
Let me get behind you.
do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive... Great shot, Dawn!
이야. 셀카를
I'm proud of
찍었네요.
you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
샘 핀치. 사진을 좋아하는 할아버지였네요. 타이머인가?
Sorry, Dawn. Just gotta reset the timer. Hang on, kiddo. Just trying to get a shot of the two of us together.
이렇게 찍어놓고 달려가야 되는구나. 자, 이렇게 나오면 되지? 왜? 옆으로 가야 돼?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so-
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
오! 오! 와, 저렇게 죽은 거야, 샘 핀치는? 세상에나.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
1950년부터 1983년이면 33. 와, 세상에 저렇게 죽었어. 가족의 저주인가?
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
참전 용사였고 사냥을 참 좋아했네요. 집안 구석구석 통로가 왜 이렇게
After
많아?
Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
샘. 아, 멋진 할아버지였네. 그레고리에게 왔네요. 그레고리. 뭐야, 쟤는 고작 1년? 어휴, 잠깐, 다시. 그레고리. Divorce contract.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
우리는 그레고리죠?
Back's over, Gregory. It's time to. Hold on, sweetie. Hello?
지금 제가 조정하고 있는 건
I told you I
개구리예요,
don't
개구리.
right now.
미치겠다.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
그레고리의 세계. 아직 이제 막 돌진한 아이의 세계.
He reminded me so much of Catherine. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was, he saw.
와, 이 어린애가 왜 죽었을까? 다 뛰어야 되는 건가? 와, 근데 이 게임 정말 잘 만들었다. 혹시 이 이름을 다 떼는 건가? 일단 뭐 다 떼보겠습니다 한번. 아이고 어렵다. 아! 하나 남았어. 오케이 다 됐다. 어? 끝난 거 아니었어? 어떻게 해야 되지 이거는?
Sure made him happy.
와. 어떻게 해야 되지? 이건 어떻게 하는 걸까요? 응? 뭔가 생겼는데? 얘를 뒤집으면 되나? 아. 이거 어렵네 이 판.
I know how
Okay.
silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy.
아기가 너무 행복한 것을 걱정하는 것은?
Slipping away.
어?
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
제 얘기를?
Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told
Oh.
us about the world he saw.
설마 이렇게 죽는 거야?
There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything.
와, 세상에 말도 안 돼.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
진짜 저렇게 죽은 거였어? 아유, 그레고리 안타깝네.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet
구스 1969년부터 1982년 약 한 13년. 거스
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea.
항상 결혼식은 나쁜
Our
생각이라고
father
한
never
사람.
hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
무슨 소리야? 와.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
거스는 누구지?
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
I now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
거스. 계모? 와, 그래픽이 거의 실사에 가까운데?
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
오 마이 갓. 아빠한테. 이건 아까 그거네. 이거 거기 아닌가? 월터 죽음 쫓아왔을 때 그 해변?
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
이건 또 뭐야? 폭풍인가?
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
어!
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
아, 거스. 얘는 폭풍에 죽은 거야?
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
끊임없이 뭐가 있네.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
다락으로 방을 옮겼다. 와, 무슨
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
집에 암벽 등반도 있어? 정말 이대로 짓고 싶다. 여기 엄마의 방이야? 인디아로 봉사활동 가신 모양인데? 엄마의 방.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
산제이. 아빠가 산제이구나. 아, 엄마가 던이구나, 던. 던. 엄마 이름이 새벽 던. 아빠가 산제이. 산제이와 던.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
맞네. 산제이는 일본 사람이었, 인도 사람이었구나. 어. 어? 이건 뭐야? 아이쿠. 괜히 내려왔네. 다시 올라가야 되는데. 이제 실타래가 풀리기 시작한다. 엄마의 이름은 던. 아빠는 산제이. 인도 사람이고.
Lewis was born a year later.
루이스. 그리고 루이스. 1년 후에 태어난
When my dad
루이스.
died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go.
와, 아빠도 죽었어? 산제이도?
I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
어? 에디스 핀치 주인공. 그리고 루이스. 밀턴.
And to see kids in the house again.
3명이었나 보다, 형제가. 에디스, 밀턴, 루이스. 루이스가 가장 첫째인 것 같고.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
또 설마 루이스도?
The beginning of the end was Milton's
Milton.
10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
아, 밀턴에게 밀턴 핀치라는 성을 준 거야? 밀턴 1992년부터.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
오. 그림을 좋아하는 애였구나. 마법의 붓.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
와. 와, 진짜 감탄밖에 안 나온다. 어? 어디 갔지? 어?
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
밀턴 핀치는 어떻게 죽은 거야, 그러면? 그림 그리다가 어디 떨어진 건가? 갑자기 사라졌는데? 92년부터 2003년까지면 11살. 와. 여기서 떨어졌나 보다.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
저런 저런. 아이고.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
정말 경치 좋다. 거의 영화 같은 게임이네 이거. 올라가 볼까?
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
루이스? 루이스가 왜?
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
와, 무슨 집이 이렇게 다채롭고 이쁘지? 이번엔 루이스 핀치.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
정말 신비롭다. 루이스 핀치. 아이고 왜 이래. 고개만 돌렸는데. 다시 좀 앞으로 가야겠네. 이야. 와. 루이스 핀치. 핀치.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as
정신과?
Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse.
약물?
Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to
그의 마음이 뭐? 응? 설마 손을 넣으라는 거 아니지? 설마.
wander.
아, 뭔가 했네. 이걸 또 움직일 수 있는 거네.
I asked him to describe it.
와, 이 게임은 정말
He said
게임 안에
he
게임이야.
started small. Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats.
박쥐?
and toads. And things that had not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
와, 산산 자르면서 마우스로는 키보드로는
I
얘를
worried
움직이고
about
있어.
him then. Daydreaming at the cannery,
말도 안 돼.
I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first.
와,
He told me he'd made a new friend.
루이스 토피아.
On the edge of a city named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
와, 이게 루이스의 상상력이야 지금?
He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination,
어?
so he could do whatever he wished. He
와,
held an election for mayor,
시장 선거.
and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a
뭐야?
game for him.
이건 또 뭐야? 루이스 토피아를 떠나?
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
와,
New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
무슨 얘기지 이게? 혹시 다중인격? 여러 루이스의?
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
멋있는 여왕.
handsome queen. queen was on her own quest for
빛나는 무지개지.
radiant rainbows.
아이고야.
Followed the sound of her
하프지. 하프.
silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
상상이라는 걸 알고 있었어? 생선이 쌓여간다. 잠깐만.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming.
현실 세계에서 성공을 맛본 적이 없는 그에게.
And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
오 마이 갓. 매너리즘을 느낀 건가?
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
오호. 뭐야, 현실의 루이스로 돌아왔네? 연어 절단 공장?
He began to forget the world we know.
이런. 그래서 어떻게 하는 거야? 설마?
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
설마?
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
본인인데 이거? 루이스 핀치 본인이잖아 이거.
I still thought I could save him.
어?
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
다 눈, 코, 입이 없어.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
연어의 왕이야?
Bend down his head.
설마?
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
진짜. 와, 충격적이다, 진짜.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
나 진짜. 이 게임 정말.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
이게 다 루이스의 상상력이었어.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
떠나는 전날.
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
이거 진짜 명작이다.
I wish we'd stayed.
나는 남고 싶었다, 이 집에.
But I understand why we left.
에디스. 본인의 방인가? 여기는?
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
뽁뽁이 대신에 플라스틱, 이거 스펀지 같은 거네?
What happened that night had been coming for a long time.
그날 밤에
Maybe we should have come sooner.
에디스 본인의 방이잖아, 여기.
But it had to end one way or another. All
다락방이네.
that's left now was to tell you about that last night.
에디스.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
식탁에 있던 그 애기 쟁반이 에디스 거였구나. 이게 아닐 테고. 물건 갖고 오라고 그랬지 아마?
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
이렇게 또 들어가? 결국 할머니 에디 그리고 던
The thing you're
엄마
afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
무슨 얘기야? 에디스 엄마 할머니 셋 남았네?
Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
History of Edith Finch.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born.
에디스가 태어난 날.
That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around.
계속 걷고 있어요. 그래도. 이건 에디인가 보다. 할머니.
For a while, I wondered.
할머니 지금은 에디.
I started seeing things.
스벤이 아니다. 월터가 좋아하는 사냥.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me.
도착했다.
Or maybe I came back to them.
좌초된 집이네요.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
저거 내가 자주 하는 건데.
We both tried to make the best of it.
바람 맞으면서 손 이렇게 하는 거. 손가락. 바람을 타는 거.
A few years went by.
몇 년이 지나갔다. 민들레네. 와. 게임 구성 봐. 실화야?
My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot.
아이고야.
The rest happened pretty quickly.